Hi, this is Toco US Brand Manager Ian Harvey. I wanted to address fleet management for skating skis today. I'm using Rossignols because I'm very familiar with Rosignol and confident in my recommendations. If you prefer to use a different brand, of course, you can translate it, if you will, into your brand, or at least understand the concepts that I'm presenting here. So for skate ski management, and I'm talking to people who race regularly, want to have good skis, are devoted to skiing, but not a recreational skier who is probably perfectly happy having one or two pair of skate skis. So the concept is basically identifying different conditions and different both flexes and grinds that would match up to serve you well in those conditions and also in general. So what I recommend for those who are interested in having good skis in all conditions, I would start with, and of course a major consideration is considering what conditions you most commonly ski in. But I'm looking at this from a macro point of view where I'm considering every condition. So what I recommend is having a pair of SX skis. These SX skis have softer tips and tail, more contact on the snow, and that makes them very good all-around skis, but I think also very good cold skis. So the first recommendation I would make is having a pair of SX skis with a cold grind on them. And that will serve your needs in cold snow, of course. The second would be a pair of all-around skis, which would be an S2, which could be your hard, fast conditions around freezing. It can be anything from powder snow to transformed snow. The grind would be a universal grind that is universal for where you live. A universal grind in Utah is very different from a universal grind in the Pacific Northwest, parts of Alaska, New England, even in the colder parts of the Midwest because of the humidity difference. So a good universal grind for wherever you live on a pair of S2s would be your all-around skis, especially for when conditions are harder and faster. The third pair of skis I would recommend would be a pair of S3s. You could go with a factory grind. The grind that they come with is quite good, or a wet stone grind. The S3s are new this year in that they have a different flex than they have in the past. The tips and tails are softer. I think this is a big step up from the S3s in the past, where the camber was perhaps a little bit high and in softer conditions. They dug in a little bit compared to these. They were very good skis, but I think these are tremendous skis. So I would have these S3s with the red base, with either a factory grind for wet or the grind that it comes with. And the fourth pair of skis that I recommend is kind of a luxury pair, but for me it's quite important. I think it's quite a common condition where you have hard pack conditions and then it snows 2 inches. And it's enough snow that it's not going to be reground. That's a common condition for races. So it's hard packed snow with snow that's new fallen on top that wasn't reground. And what I recommend is a stiff pair of SXs with a universal grind for your area. And this would be very good in two conditions. The first would be hard packed snow where it snowed a few inches, let's say 1 to 3 inches on top. And in those conditions, you need to have a little bit higher camber to have room for that airflow underneath the camber. They ski much, much easier and better if the skis have a higher camber, not a super high camber so they plow, but this SX is very good for this because they have a soft tip and tail. So a stiff pair of SXs with a uni grind, and they also would run in many conditions where it's wet. I have the S3 already recommended here, but these would also go very well in certain wet conditions. So these 4 pair of skis, and that's not nothing. That's 4 pair of skis. But if they have these flexes and these grinds affiliated with those flexes, it means you're going to have good skis in pretty much any condition. And then if you go to an event and you're unsure it's exactly what the forecast is how it's going to play out, you can put a blue wax in your cold skis. You can put, let's say, a red or a blue and red mix on your S2s, your all-around skis. If you're thinking it's going to be wet, you could put a yellow or a red-yellow mix type wax on your wet skis. And on your stiff SXs as well, you know, obviously you don't need to wax all four. I mean, you should be able to narrow down the forecast. But my point is, if you wax them while traveling and in general with these particular combinations, you're quite good no matter what the conditions are. And you can sleep well and not stress, especially sometimes you have a storm coming in or a front coming in during the night right before an event, and it's unsure as to what's going to happen. 2 or at the most 3 of these skis, you could have them prepared, and you'll test race morning and you'll know you're going to have good skis in any one condition. So this is my recommendation for skate ski fleet management for, let's say, master skiers or skiers that ski domestically that take it seriously but aren't World Cup skiers with 20 different pair of skating skis that they need to figure out. This is very effective and what I recommend. Thank you.